All right, from Drew Clay Searles, if Chael could take a mulligan on any one fight in his life, which one would it be?
Oh, last one, Tito. Tito, just simply because of offense. You go out and lose a fight, but you go out there and you bring your offense with you. You can live with the result. When you show up and you never get going, man, it's hard. And Tito's he's the worst fighter in the sport. We were fighting for title. I took his title. I am now the worst fighter in the sport. Whoever I fight next, if I win that fight, he then becomes the worst fighter because I've officially got the crown, and that's tough. And it would be Tito, and boom, there you go.
Jason Hendricks, would Chael ever consider a career in pro wrestling after MMA?
No. If my athletic abilities diminish or I suffer an injury, my contingency plan is to join the NFL.
All right, now, Jacob, you can see I'm going in order. I'm not throwing these in here. I'm not teeing him up. Matt Wiley, question is, after the Vanderlei Silva fight, hopefully sooner or later, will you call out Tito for a rematch? I see it 1-1 as now.
Yeah, the score is 1-1 between Tito and I, and you always go into a rubber match, and everybody knows that. And the only reason I kept my mouth shut on the Tito fight, look, Tito tapped in that fight. I knew Tito tapped when he tapped. I heard Tito verbally tap, and I've never said a word about it. Privately to Tito at the press conference or to you guys, I never said anything. And the reason is, first off, when you lose, you just take your loss. It's not a tap if the referee doesn't call it a tap. So therefore, Tito didn't tap. I thought he tapped, and I let a move go. He verbally tapped, and I never said anything about it. And the reason is he quit the sport 5 seconds later. He quit the sport 5 seconds after I tapped, and he quit the sport 1 minute and 5 seconds after he tapped. There was no rematch. There was nothing to build, and there was no reason to tell the real story. He then believes that he's going to come back for Fedor. Now, Tito was nowhere near the Fedor fight. He didn't offer his services. He had nothing to do with it. But the bottom line was he then took himself out of retirement by pretending that he offered to fight Fedor, which he did not do. If Tito ever wanted to come back and play, I'll tell the whole story of what happened in that fight. And yeah, we are one apiece. I never got going. That guy is easy work for me. I would put that guy away in less than 2 minutes. It would be a completely different fight. It bothers me. It bothers me to come out here and say that I could clean a guy up in 2 minutes that just tapped me out. I realize how insane that sounds, but the guy was gone. There was no reason to come. I saw all the conspiracy theories. I saw the videos going around that show Tito tapping out, and then I let the hold go. What people don't know is I didn't let the hold go just because he tapped. He yelled, tap, tap, twice. He yelled it twice. John never called it. Tito kept fighting, so I had to keep fighting. He then quits the sport and acts like he done something. It's like, Tito, you want to play this game, man? We're one apiece. I never rubbed it in your face when I cleaned you up in 44 seconds in college. You did rub it in my face. The real truth is you tapped 1 minute and 5 seconds before you quit the sport, allegedly. You quit 5 seconds after I tapped. You want to do it again, man. You want to act like you're coming back. Come on back.
Wow. That is what I think the guys in the pro wrestling call a pipe bomb. I did not see that coming, but I will tell you this.
I never even shared that with you. I have never revealed that until just now, and I would have taken it to my grave. It was between Tito and I. He gave me a look after the fight. Tito, we're good, man. I tapped fair and square. The ref called my tap. He didn't call your tap. We're good. You think I've never ran a tap back before? Sure I have. You're in there. You do anything you can. I had absolutely no problem with it, and he quit the sport. But if he's allegedly coming back, I'll fight Fedor. No, first off, you never offered to fight Fedor, you lying prick. And secondly, if you're rescinding your retirement, which he is going to do, he's going to rescind it because he's broke. Come on back. But it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same thing.
All right, let me ask you this. I was completely respectful to Tito throughout the entire build-up to your fight. And anybody asked me any questions, including Ladd, I was very, very respectful. That turned immediately after the fight when he continued to act like a bully. I'm not sure you knew what was going on while you were calling the fight last weekend in San Jose. I know I called his actions around that the cage of that fight that he was acting like the belle of the ball. Actually, he was acting like a peacock in a bad suit. Did you notice all the nonsense that he was running around the cage when you were calling the fight? Or did you just get irritated to all hell when you heard the news that he had offered to fight Fedor?
Well, it was a little bit annoying because he didn't offer to fight Fedor. I mean, that was what was annoying about it. Tito Ortiz was nowhere near that deal ever. He shows up in a suit. Okay, he's a fighter, first off. He's got the only job on the face of the world where you never need a suit. Secondly, he now has no job. He's allegedly retired, and he still shows up wearing a suit that doesn't fit. I just think he's a really weird guy. I mean, you have to understand this. We don't have very many rules. I'm telling you, he yelled the word tap and he can do all of those things and get me to let a position go. It's up to the referee. If he says something to me and I want to let it choke, that's on me. I'm not mad at him for doing any of that. I'm just now telling you, now that he's saying he's not retired, now I'm telling you what really happened. I don't think he's going to deny that. Knowing Tito, he'll be like, yeah, man, I pulled one over on you, dummy. I think Tito will steer right into it. I don't think he's going to have a problem with any of this. However, I will offer you this. Tito comes out, and we're in this fight, and we don't have very many rules, man. By the rule book or by the code of ethics of the boys, there's not a lot of rules. We have one thing. When a guy taps, you let him go, period. I tapped out, and he kept the lock. That's as scummy and dirty and bad as it gets. Now, it was my neck. All's well. I jump up. Everything's fine. That was my arm, and I tapped, and he kept going. We could have a totally different conversation. If that was my leg, I mean, you remember what happened to Pale Horace, and he was putting those guys out, and he ended up getting cut. You're going, hey, you can't do this. I covered him with the commission. The commission wants to know, hey, how do you want us to handle this? I don't. I do not want you to handle it. We're in the heat of battle. I tapped. He held him. I'm good. Let it go. I completely covered him. He comes to the press conference and wants me to give him an apology. He demands an apology. It's like, Tito, you just broke the one and only rule that we have in this sport. I then covered you for it so that you aren't suspended or fined or have to go through a hearing. And now you want an apology from me. It's like, this is insane world.
So you made a deal with my question, you made a deal with yourself that he is no longer fighting. He's off bases. When he threw his name in the Fedor fiasco, real or unreal, is when you took your gloves off and said, all right, now you're fighting, now you got to fight me.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, Tito, I understand what you're doing here. You tried to get your name out there. It's a lie. It's a straight-up lie. You never offered to fight Fit. He was nowhere near that deal. You were at the meeting. Now, you were outside the door of the meeting. Tito was nowhere near this deal. His name was never taken to Fedor Emelianenko. He did not make an offer. It's just not true. But there's a bigger piece there, which is he said he was retired. It's the only reason I let this whole thing slide. If there's never going to be a rematch, look, we're one apiece, man. Everybody that knows anything about combat knows you do a rubber match. Everybody knows that, but I've got nothing to sell because the guy just quit. He quit 5 seconds after I tipped, and he quit a minute and 5 seconds after he tapped. Let it go. I was fine to do that, but now if in make-believe land he's coming back, and I know he's coming back, he has to come back. There's nothing that he can go out and do. The guy can't put a sentence together. They asked him at the press conference, hey, Tito, are you ever going to work for Bellator? And Tito, and he looks over at Coker, and Coker's looking straight ahead going, please don't put me on the spot, man. What am I going to have you do? And Tito's like, yeah. And so somebody asked him the number one follow-up question that you can't ask a doofus, which is, well, what would you do? His response, Joel, he goes, well, the mat used to be yellow, and I told him, get a white mat. It's crisp. It'll look better on TV. And now they're on a white mat. I pay attention to detail. And I'm sitting there just going, dude, you're such an idiot, man. Just enjoy your moment. I'm going to do my part, which is to give you your moment because you earned it. You beat me. And we're going to move on. So then the media asks him, well, what are you going to do now? And he's talking about all the sacrifices he has to make, in fighting. And it's like, Tito, man, you ducked and dodged the drug program forever, okay? You're not fooling anybody. I lived on that side of the tracks. And secondly, you want to know what he told the people he was going to do? He was going to take naps in the afternoon with Amber and then pick the kids up from school. It's like, Tito, do you want to put yourself so out of touch with the working man that is our fans and our supporters and brings in the time and money and gives to us? You want to tell the world that you're going to take a nap in the afternoon. Man, you are so far. And what do you need that goddamn suit for, nap boy? You know, he comes out and tells me, Joel, that he's in a gang. You know, so I went through a deal with the FBI. I kept my mouth shut. I took a charge. I didn't say a goddamn word, and they offered me a deal. I did not take it, and you know that full well, and that's public information. Tito came out and said that I ratted on Friends, and that, you know, where he comes from, a guy will get his neck cut for that. He used to be in a gang. I'm going, Tito, you and 3 of your buddies sitting around taking sticks of bubble gum out of trading cards doesn't make you a gang. That makes you a group of nerds. You want to come to my hometown running your mouth like that? I will bury you in my backyard. I will stray pipe you out to the creek, Mr. Gang member.